Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. It's a beautiful day here in Southeast Texas. I know it's fall for most of you and you wouldn't know it here in Texas in my shorts and shirt, but anyways, we're going to bring you a fall recipe you're going to definitely want to share with all your friends. It's a big country twist on a baked ham, except we're going to smoke it in the smoker and then do a Parmesan Crusted au gratin potato in the Dutch oven. You're not going to miss this one. Stay tuned. All right, guys, what we're going to do, it takes about 5 hours or so, depending on the size of ham. So we're going to get the fire started. Just a reminder, make sure you subscribe by hitting the subscribe button here in the bottom of the screen, and be looking for our videos. We post every Sunday a new video for you on our YouTube channel. Also, I've got Instagram and Facebook. A lot of you follow me already on Facebook or Instagram. Just make sure you like on all of them, comment, let me know what you think. If you think you want me to cook something for you, I'd be happy to. Give me some ideas and things like that. I'd be happy to do that for you. Anyways, we're going to get the fire started on the Fernetto. We're going to use a BB hardwood lump coal, and then we're going to smoke that with an applewood topper on it. So that's what the ham is going to be smoked with today. So I'm just going to start by getting the fire started, and then we'll bring you back here in just a little bit. Here we've got an 8.5-pound bone-in ham from Frick's Meats. With the bone-in, that's going to give you about 5.5 to 6 pounds of actual meat, because the bone takes up about a pound or two. So what we're going to do, basically, we're just going to take it out of the package. I'm going to cut a few little scours in it. That way the spray and the spritz gets a little bit down in the meat. We're going to put it in the pan, and we're just going to put it on the smoker and let it go to smoking. Again, we're going to watch it. It'll take probably 4 or 5 hours. It'll get up to about 130 to 145 degrees. This is already a fully cooked ham. We can literally slice it and make a sandwich, start eating it now. All we want to do for a dinner meal is get it warm to the bone on the inside. And in the meantime, about every hour or so, 30 minutes, we're going to spritz it down, keep it moist with our spritz that we made here. We don't do molasses just because my wife's keto diet. She can't have all that extra sugar. Most of this sugar is going to cook off with the spritz, so this is how we do it. Ham that's already been smoked once, it's already going to have a nice flavor. Like I said, you can literally eat it as it is. We're just going to touch it up just a hair, big country style. Just like that, it'll set in there. The oven, the pit's ready. It's right at 150 degrees. It'll continue to climb up to about 225 to 250. And I just put the lid on, that's why it's low, but the coals are ready, so we're not worried about it. Before we put it on, we're going to take our slicing knife and just cut in some slices here. Think it like a chalkboard, not a chalkboard, but a tic-tac-toe. We'll just set it down in there like so. I really almost forgot the star of the show. It's the apple chip. I forgot to put the apple chips in there. So we're going to go in and put the apple chips in there now. She's up to 300 right there. We're going to turn that back. You can smell that apple immediately hitting. It's just incredible. All right, y'all, we're an hour in. We're going to do a checkup. Temperature's running right now, 225, right where we want it. Oh, yeah. You'll see where I scoured it, where she's starting to pull apart there. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. We're going to spritz it and let her keep going. See you in about an hour. So basically what we're doing now, we're just doing some prep work for the potatoes. We're a long way from getting them started, but I want to go ahead and get them cut and put in the water. What you're going to do is you're just going to take 6 or 7 russet potatoes, kind of depending on your family size, and then you're just going to peel it and then cut it almost paper thin. I'll show you what I mean. I've already got a few of these done here. Real thin, like potato chip thin, okay? Almost translucent. You want them very thin, okay? Just to give you an idea how thick that is. And then you want to put them in water. The reason you don't want to leave them out is because they'll get to turn into kind of a brownish, ugly look, and you don't want that in your dish. So put them in water. Once you've got them all done and peeled and put together, cut and put in the water, just put a towel over the water and set it to the side, and then you're ready for the next deal. All right, so we're at the 2-hour mark on the ham cook. The Fornetto is still cooking right about 225 like we want it to. And we're gonna do our first check now. That's about the exact color you want it, kind of that mahogany look. We're gonna do our first temp check here. We're gonna go deep down into it next to that bone, right there. That's good. You don't want to see it skyrocket. That means you're cooking it way too fast. We're about 85, 90 degrees, so that's perfect. What we're gonna do now, we're going to pull this out and we're going to wrap it in foil, pour all the juices that it has let go back on top of it, re-spritz it, and then wrap it in foil and put it back in foil for the next hour or 2-hour cook time. So what you want to kind of do is make a little boat out of this. We're going to mist it again before we put it in. Gloves, this pan's hot. Pour those juices right back on top of that ham. So that's one. Make sure we don't lose any of the juice. We're going to double wrap it. Just double wrap. Now we're just going to set it right on the rack itself. Double wrap. We're going to put the lid back on it. We're going to throw a piece of mesquite in it now. Because now it doesn't matter what kind of wood you put on it, you're going to get very little penetration of the smoke. Now we're looking for a little bit of heat. Really what we're doing is we're baking it now. So we just did the 2-hour wrap. It takes about 30 minutes or so to get coals ready and about 1.5 hours to bake those potatoes done in this au gratin. So we're going to start getting the coals ready, and then we're going to go back inside and start working on the sauce. When I'm cooking my sauce for the potatoes, I really got to regulate that heat. In a windy condition, it's just super hard. You don't want to boil that stuff. You just want it to kind of incorporate. So I'm going to fry up this bacon real thin, set it to the side. I'm going to chop an onion in slices because we'll need it for the dish later. But then I'm going to start the sauce inside in a saucepan here so I can regulate that heat a little bit more. So on the bacon, you're going to need about 6 slices of bacon. You're going to want to cut it pretty small. It's going to be in potatoes, right? So you kind of want it almost like you baking bits in essence. So once you get this chopped up, you're just going to fry it pretty crispy. It's going to go in a potato dish and go back in the Dutch oven. So you can do it fairly crispy. It's going to soften up a little bit inside the dish itself because the dish is pretty wet. We're using Applewood smoked bacon to coincide with the apple theme of the ham. Get a little bit of a sharpness on my knife here. It's been used quite a bit the last few weeks. And this bacon is just a little bit slimy. Or not slimy, but it's a little bit greasy, of course. So anyways, got that chopped. We're going to throw the bacon in this cast iron skillet, this filled skillet, and then we're just going to brown it up. We'll be back. But you can also do this another way. You can fry the bacon up in pieces and then crumble it after the fact. 6 1/2 dozen the other. However you want to do it, it doesn't make any difference on that. So all we're going to do is slice this onion because we need slices. Peel off the outside edge. And about 3, maybe 4 slices, all you really need. You don't need the onion to overpower this. If you watch Justin Wilson, the Cajun chef, he puts an entire slice of onion and he layers it in his au gratin potatoes. That's too much onion for me and my family. It may not be for yours, but it certainly is for ours. So we're gonna put about 1/2 spread out throughout. That's about it. We use the rest of that onion later in something deft. We'll put it in a bag and put it in the refrigerator. So if the kitchen looks kind of funny to you, it should. It's inside of a fifth wheel. This is where we live. We don't live in a big house with a big kitchen, so we do everything inside of our little kitchen in our fifth wheel, and we love it. And we've adapted, and it works just fine. So if you're ever thinking, man, I don't have an executive kitchen to cook all this in, you don't need to. You can cook everything we cook on this channel inside of a fifth wheel, because we do. What we've done is we've melted the butter to a slight boil. Now we're going to put in the minced garlic. This is a lot of potatoes, you're going to need a lot of garlic. So we're going to do a full tablespoon of garlic minced. May actually do a tablespoon and a half just because. Just a little bit, maybe a tablespoon or so of smoked paprika. Just because we don't have the habanero, that's going to go in there as well. A can of Hatch green chilies. And then a pint of heavy whipping cream. So you don't want that to boil. Again, you do not want this to boil. You want to stir it up, incorporate it, and just let it come to a heat just before it starts to boil. All you're doing is incorporating the garlic into this cream with that smoked paprika and the Hatch green chilies. So you give it a good mix it up. It'll turn kind of a light orange color, and that's kind of what you're looking for. So as you can see here, it's on low to 2 heat, a super low heat. Again, we're not looking to boil this. We're not looking to really thin it out any. All we want to do is incorporate and kind of blend in that garlic. Check the ham. It's running 200, 225. We'll do another thermometer check. And as you can see, just an hour in that full, what that full really does to meat, it went from 80, 85 an hour ago to almost 130 now. So we're real close. We're gonna start cooking those potatoes. Let that ham just sit there and cook a little bit longer. We're getting real close. Those potatoes will cook about an hour to an hour and a half. So we should time that right. That the inside temperature of that ham should be about 150, 155. And by the time those potatoes are done, we should be even. Alright y'all, so the sauce has been incorporated. It just came to a really light boil, kind of around the edges. You don't want to boil it fast. You just kind of want a slow incorporation of the sauces here. So now it's time to start layering this cake. Y'all remember that bacon we fried earlier? Well, we saved that bacon grease for a reason. We're going to grease that pan a little bit with some bacon grease. Just going to roll it around, make sure it all gets coated good. We want it kind of coming up the sides too, so we're going to pour a little more in there. Just get that nice base coat there. All the way around the edges, as far up the edges as you feel comfortable going without spilling it. Now we're going to start layering taters. Alright, so we got our first layer in here. We're going to layer in a little onion. Ah, tricky onion. Now we're going to take this, our cream sauce or cheese, and we're going to, or cream sauce rather. We're just going to pour a little layer of cream sauce over it. About like so. We'll sprinkle us a little cheddar. About like so. A little habanero jack. About like so. And repeat the process. We didn't catch it on camera, but I forgot to tell you salt. After you put the potatoes down, you salt. Salt the taters. Pour the rest of your cream sauce. What you'll do is get you a little bit of water. Just a little bit to help get the rest of that, because it's potatoes, right? They're going to be kind of baking, so they can be wet. A little more water. Enough. Finish it with all the rest of the cheese. The top layer doesn't have any onion on it. That's right, because the top layer gets a Parmesan crust on top, so you don't want the onion up there. This is the last layer for the onion. Cheddar like so. Make sure you keep enough to go on the top. Habanero jack like so. And then your last layer of potatoes. course, black pepper. If you got some red pepper flake, you can throw that on here in lieu of the coarse black. Kind of up to you. The most important part, el bacon. Just like so. And last but not least, go ahead and open that big side. You don't want to be too sparingly with this, because this is going to really make this dish stand apart from anybody else's. And give it a nice little crust on top. Now we're going to take it out and get it on the coals and go from there. Hopefully the rain doesn't ruin it. So as you can see, it's a torrential downpour. Welcome to Southeast Texas, sunning over there, pouring down right here. But happened just in time. I'm not worried about the smoker. I'm worried about those coals. Well, I'm going to cook it in there, but we're going to have to cook it down here on the ground. So we want to emulate about 300, 350 degrees. So it's going to take quite a bit of coal. You got to bake all those potatoes inside. So we're good there. And now just let it cook. Alright, so we're at the 4-hour mark on the ham, and we're at the 1-hour mark on the potatoes. I'm thinking the ham's probably done. We're going to do a temp check on it. We're looking for about 140. I can already tell she's going plenty high. Right there, that's perfect. That's deep down on the bone, 140. Ham's done. We're going to pull it off. We're going to check the potatoes here in just a minute. So we're an hour in on the potatoes. Whew. That is cooking good right there. I think that they may be done. I need to get a fork. We need to check those. Those may be done in an hour. All right, so we're going to check these taters. Set that up there. Just in case it slips off, it'll slip off on my foot. Nice crust there. We're gonna let that cool off for just a minute. Oh my God. So tender, so good. No, I can't even describe how good those are. Just a little bit of a ting on the back of your tongue from the little bit of habanero and the chili in there, but not hot at all. Anybody should be able to eat this recipe. It's a wrap. Oh my God, they're so good. You guys stay tuned. We're going to put these on the plate here in a minute. We're going to bring you a little bit of a feast.
That's delicious. They're hot, but delicious.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to set them off to the side, clean up our cold mess, get it back in here so it can cool down, and just let those cool down because it's like lava right now. We'll get the ham out, we'll slice it, and get ready to make some plates here soon. That's going to be some kind of good, y'all. Look at that. You see how she smoked right off that bone there? If you want to do a little bit something different on a traditional holiday gift dish, do this too for your friends and families as they come over for the holidays. They're going to be just completely shocked. Steal that piece right there. That's the piece I want to try right there. But you can see how it's just melting off and so juicy. You can still look at that juice. Get in there, Cheyenne. That's how juicy that still is at the middle of the bone. Y'all, it's literally melting in my mouth. So juicy, so tender. We're gonna be eating this for sandwiches for a week. It's like a very well done brisket consistency. It's just so melt in your mouth. Y'all, we're gonna stop the film right there. I'm not even going to be able to do the exit call tonight because this is so good. I just want to get everybody involved. I want to get them with some potatoes and some ham, and we're going to sit down and we're going to feast, y'all. I sure appreciate you watching the video. Hit that subscribe button down here. Share it with all your friends. Make this for holidays. Your family's going to love you for it. Thanks for watching.